Android.
Now at 9, Joplin receives a fair rating in a state audit with 10 areas for improvements.
The excitement in downtown Columbus, Kansas is building as the city prepares for its biggest weekend. I'm Blake Gully. I'll have that story coming up.
Americans are importing fewer foreign goods as President Trump ramps up his tariff policy. I'm Griff Jenkins in Washington. I've got the details coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Oklahoma authorities say they've made a third arrest in a 2014 cold case. This is KOAM News on Fox 14. I'm Samantha Walker. The arrest comes just 1 month after the Delaware County District Attorney's Office issued arrest warrants for Penny Larsons and James Merritt Larson Jr. She was booked into the Clinton County, Missouri jail. Larson Jr. was already in the custody of the Missouri Department of Corrections on an unrelated charge. Both have been charged with first-degree murder. Their arrest came following an almost 11-year investigation into the suspicious disappearance of 20-year-old Dustin Ray Carver. Back in 2014, Delaware County Sheriff's deputies had received a missing persons report regarding Carver. The initial investigation led to the search of a property in Kansas where a burn pile was discovered along with human remains. In July of 2025, the Delaware Sheriff's Office received fresh leads, which ultimately led to the arrest of Larson and Larson Jr. Now that investigation has led to the arrest of this man, 31-year-old Bradley Wayne Majors. Majors was booked into the Delaware County Jail yesterday. He has also been charged with first-degree murder. The 2023 performance audit for the city of Joplin has been released. The purpose of the state auditor's report is to review labor hours and records, as well as ensure the city's finances and operational processes are in legal compliance. KOAM's Kenny Foreman has the rating as well as recommendations.
Missouri State Auditor Scott Fitzpatrick summarized his findings for Joplin regarding the fiscal year that ended on October 31st, 2023. The city received a rating of fair, suggesting that there is room for improvement. 10 areas where the city can improve its finances were highlighted, including finance department controls and procedures, budgeting procedures, and payroll and allowance procedures. Fitzpatrick suggests the city restricts user access when it comes to financing and budgeting, keep better track of all money spent and received by credit cards and online deposits, report budgets in a more timely manner, as well as determine what employee vehicle allowances are truly necessary. In a press release, the city stated that they've been actively working to improve in these areas and ensure that all the city's finances are accounted for. Joplin Mayor Keenan Cortez also expressed optimism in a video posted to the city's YouTube channel.
We're very pleased with the outcome of this audit. We've even been told by people who work in the state auditor's office that this was a good audit. I think the public can rest assured that their city government can be trusted.
Cortez maintained that no legal wrongdoing was found and thanked the state for its work. Kenny Foreman, KOAM News.
You can see the full state auditor's report on our website. That's KOAMnewsnow.com. Medicologist confirms its Pittsburgh location is permanently closed after environmental concerns forced resident relocations. The senior living facility at 2520 South Rouse moved all residents to its Frontenac location in July. The company hired a remediation company to investigate, but after several consultations, they made the decision to close it. CEO Scott Hines told KOAM today the decision wasn't easy, but the cost to remediate, repair, and renovate is not economically feasible at this time. They're working with the Kansas Department for Aging and Disability Services on an approved closure plan. Medicologist continues communicating with affected families. Meteorologist Lindsay Gaffney now joins us with the first look at weather.
We do have some rain chances in store for us as we head into Friday. Mostly just these isolated shower chances throughout the early morning and then again into the evening. Right now, we're just going to see a few clouds as we head through the rest of tonight. Really not much going on until we get to Friday morning. So here we are about 8 a.m. We could see some isolated showers lingering in southeastern Kansas and then moving into the Missouri side near Joplin, but mostly could potentially stay to the east of I-49. We want to keep an eye on that. Most of this already clears out. We're back to clear skies for most of us by Friday afternoon, but more clouds move in overnight and through the day on Saturday. So we are in store for a bit more of a cloudier day on Saturday. Outside of that, though, temperatures continue to warm up. 82 on Friday, 84 on Saturday, 86 on Sunday. But I'm going to have all those details coming up.
Thanks, Lindsay. Columbus is getting ready to welcome visitors from across the region for its annual hot air balloon regatta. But this weekend isn't just about the balloons filling the sky. It's also a big lift for local businesses downtown. KOAM's Blake Gully shows us how the event brings both economic and community spirit to the city.
The annual Hot Air Balloon Regatta is one of Columbus's biggest traditions, filling the skies and bringing families together from across the 4 states. For longtime Chamber of Commerce Director Jean Purchett, it's also been a big part of her career and her love for flight.
My background was aviation to begin with, so anytime I can work with anything that flies, I'm in for it and such. So it's been a great opportunity. We have had great pilots. Most of our pilots, once they get in here, they stay for several years. All of our pilots this year, the majority of them have come for at least 20 years.
For shop owners here in downtown Columbus, the festival weekend is about more than just sales. It's about community, a reminder of how events like this bring people together.
We appreciate everybody that comes in, supports these local businesses because, I think local small businesses are the backbone of America, man, and I think every small business owner should feel like, they're being loved and being supported and all that, and they've done that for us. It's been amazing. 7 years, every year. It gets packed in here.
This year's Balloon Regatta is taking flight from a new location, the soccer fields off Highway 160 and 20th Street. Organizers hope the change will make it easier for visitors to park, watch, and enjoy the show with plenty of space. Reporting in Columbus, Kansas, Blake Gully, KOAM News.
For more details on the events taking place during the 36th Annual Hot Air Balloon Regatta, visit our website. That's KOAMnewsnow.com. The Miners Hall Museum in Franklin is getting a little extra help keeping the community park in shape, thanks to some hard-working middle schoolers. Students from Pittsburgh Community Middle School's Kiwanis Builders Club teamed up with the museum for a recurring service project, one that's now become an annual tradition. This year's project included replacing old wood mulch with brand new rubber mulch in the play and picnic areas, using materials purchased through grants from the Get Busy Living and the Community Foundation.
It feels great to come out here and be a part of this, but it feels even better knowing it's the kids doing it and how happy the ladies are here with the foundation that are welcoming us back every year, and the kids just perform really well. They get out here and they thrive when you get them out here in the open and have a purpose.
Farrell also says the students take great pride in making a difference, and it shows. Well, coming up, AI chatbots as psychiatrists?
AI might be great for finding recipes or instructions on how to change a flat tire, but it makes for a lousy psychiatrist. I'm Eben Brown in Miami. I'll have that story straight ahead.
But up first, a mother's instinct leads to a life-changing diagnosis for her sick son.
Down up to $500. Stop by or apply online and drive.
It's International Plasma Awareness Week, a time to put a spotlight on the importance of life-saving plasma donations. Experts say that many blood donors may not know much about giving plasma, but it's a critical part of helping people with certain medical disorders. It's also used in emergencies. In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither has more on how plasma-derived therapy helps sustain life.
Jana Matthews says her son kept getting a cold that would always end in pneumonia, antibiotics, hospitalizations, even the removal of his adenoids didn't help.
It was devastating, and there was that mom instinct in my belly that something else was wrong.
At 7 years old, Matthews says her son was diagnosed with common variable immune deficiency, or CVID. His body doesn't produce enough antibodies to fight infection. She says doctors treated him with human plasma.
When I tell you it was night and day, within 24 hours, he was a normal 7-year-old boy running around the house, wrestling with his brother and our dog. And it was like a plant that finally got sunlight and water.
These therapies depend on donations. Giving plasma is different from donating whole blood. The Plasma Protein Therapeutics Association says it's collected through a machine that separates the plasma from a healthy donor's blood. The remaining blood components are then returned to the donor.
The process takes about an hour. And has about the same side effects as general blood donation. You might feel a little dizzy, maybe a little fatigued the day after.
Now, at age 23, Matthew's son has received plasma every week since his diagnosis.
My son is now thriving and living amongst the rest of us and achieving as an adult. And it just seems incredible.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
You can find more information about plasma donation and find a plasma donation center near you by visiting plasmaweek.org. And combining pain medications with antidepressants could increase the risk of seizures in older adults. A study published in the Journal of Neurology looked at people living in nursing homes and found those taking the opioid tramadol and certain antidepressants had up to a 9% higher seizure risk than those taking other antidepressants. Researchers say the findings underscore the need for careful practices, especially among older people with complex health conditions. A growing number of Americans are turning to AI-powered chatbots to diagnose and treat their mental health problems, and real-life doctors say that's a problem. Fox's Eben Brown has more.
AI chatbots are becoming more popular for folks looking for medical advice, and doctors say that is a problem, especially for those with mental health issues, pointing to multiple incidents of people with schizophrenia being influenced by tools such as ChatGPT, sometimes even to the point of cutting out their healthcare providers.
I'm telling them what I know to be factually true based on my nearly 20 years of practice, and they're debating me because something they've constructed based on, again, ChatGPT.
Dr. Richard Miller is a psychiatrist specializing in schizophrenia. He says treatment for mental health disease is nuanced, requiring an individualized approach, and context is key, something AI chatbots don't take into account, and that can create mistrust between doctors and their patients.
There's a multitude of ways of treating psychiatric illness. You have to be very careful of the context and what you're getting, and then know how that's produced.
And most experts say as the technology evolves, it is critical for healthcare providers to build personal relationships with their patients, keeping human connection and expertise in focus.
The best answer is always to speak to your physician and have that discussion and hear his or her perspective and kind of have that discussion back and forth.
And despite doctors pushing for more human interaction, the medical AI chatbot market is expected to be worth $100 billion by the year 2033. In Miami, Eben Brown, Fox News.
Lindsay is next with a complete look at the forecast, and later how Trump's trade policies are making everyday goods more expensive.
Sign up for the Pittsburgh 150 Golf Tourney at pittsburgh150.com.
Of downtown Joplin sits atop the Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex, home of Connect-A-Culture and Spivus Center for the Arts.
We've had some pretty decent days with temperatures in the 70s. Unfortunately, that's all coming to an end as we warm up for the weekend. Now, taking a look downtown Joplin from the Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex, we do have a pretty decent evening in store for us tonight. Temperature is getting back down into the upper 50s, just like they were this morning. Now, our high today got up to about 79. We're hitting the 80s as we head into Friday. And you can see where our temperatures have consistently warmed up. Yesterday, we only hit about 76. Today, again, 78, 79. Tomorrow, we'll hit about 81, maybe even pushing up to 82. We also have a couple of isolated shower chances. The rest of us will see partly cloudy skies to even some pretty sunny skies as well if you're not getting any rain. Now you can see currently not much going on tonight, maybe a few clouds, but overall pretty calm evening. We do have a high pressure system that's mostly sitting on top of us. That is bringing or causing our warm up for the next couple of days. But like I said, we do have some rain chances for us on Friday. So heading into 8 a.m., we've got a line of storms, mostly just isolated storms by the time it hits southeastern Kansas. So Yates Center, maybe into Erie and Girard could get some isolated storms. That side breaks apart. We look to see more closer to the bulk of the rain out towards Springfield, but we could have a couple of these isolated showers moving in I-49 and along that and out to the east. So watching out for that through the early afternoon hours by about 6 to 7, mostly clear. We got a lot of sunshine again, southerly to easterly winds as we head into Saturday. Now a few more clouds move in through Saturday morning. We're looking at a mostly cloudy skies until we get to early afternoon. It breaks up quite a bit. Now, our next chance of rain after Friday is going to be on Monday. We've got a short wave trough over here, brings some rain chances, a slight cold front, not enough to really drop our temperatures, but maybe to a couple of degrees. And all of that lingers through afternoon on Monday. Back to that high pressure system, but we could see some hit and miss chances of rain thanks to that cut off low pressure system out to the west. But we're still seeing some pretty consistent warming temperatures through the week. We're really not seeing anything cooling off for another 10 to 12 days. And that's really going to be helping once this low pressure system moves over. But as a cutoff low, it tends to just linger over there. So we've got some time. Now, our average first frost in the area is going to be late October, so we're still pretty normal for this time of year, although we'd like to see some cooler temperatures, not really anything in the 80s. We do, again, after Monday, have some cooler temperatures there. Monday, Tuesday, right back to the mid to upper 80s, Wednesday, Thursday. Again, another cool down Friday and Saturday, back to warmer temperatures by Sunday. So we are seeing this like roller coaster of temperatures, ups and downs until we finally get around the 20th to the 23rd of October is when we really see a nice cool down where we could get our first frost.
I just want to make sure I always have a cardigan or a sweater on hand now, because you never know if it's going to be like a chilly 60 something when you walk out, then you leave work and it's like 80s and you're like, what is happening?
We've had some cool mornings. I love them.
I do.
I'd like some lower 70s to 60s for the highs, but can't complain.
Well, thanks so much, Lindsay. Coming up next, a series of failed votes as the government enters the second week of shutdown.
Lawmakers are feeling the pressure with no end in sight to the government shutdown. I'm Rebecca Castor with the latest warning from President Trump just ahead.
Shannon shares his big 3 stories of the week. Join us at 7 a.m.
Arts here. Sir Coxey Ford, your hometown dealer.
Visit pawprintsontheheartland.org to see how you can help our mission.
More trade partners pivot away from the U.S., claiming the tariffs have made it too expensive to do business with America. Fox News correspondent Griff Jenkins has more from Washington.
President Trump has been doubling down on his tariff policy in recent days, but new data shows it's starting to disrupt global trade. American imports of containerized goods fell last month by more than 8%, including a 22% drop in goods from China, with some exporters saying it's just too expensive to do business with the U.S.
The kind of tariffs he has imposed, things have become very expensive for the consumers. So that inflation will not be easy to handle.
And it's pushing some world leaders to look for new trade relationships, including British Prime Minister Keir Starmer, who met with his Indian counterpart on Thursday and signed new trade deals aimed at pivoting away from the U.S.
We are building something here. We're creating a new, modern partnership focused on the future and on winning the opportunities that it offers.
It came just a day after President Trump spoke about, quote, natural conflicts during his meeting with Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney. Those comments prompting criticism from some Canadian leaders.
We have to use our leverage. I'm not just going to sit back and roll over.
But the president says he's just looking to stop Canada from flooding American markets with foreign products.
We want Canada to do great, but you know, there's a point at which we also want the same business. We're competing for the same business. That's the problem.
And more tariffs are on the way, including on goods from China, which were delayed in August and now set to take effect in November. In Washington, Griff Jenkins, Fox News.
A dangerous recall today involves pressure cookers sold at Aldi stores nationwide. 3 models of Ambiano electric pressure cookers are recalled after the contents exploded from the units under pressure. 11 incidents have been reported, including 8 severe burn injuries. The cookers were sold for about $40 between January 2016 and December 2019. Well, coming up next, see why Joplin residents find joy serving free meals to their neighbors.
Outpost Casino is giving away big casino cash and prizes.
Law offices of Aaron Sachs and Associates, committed to community service.
A group of people come together to provide food for anyone who needs it. Reporter Ty Parks is talking to Food Not Bombs.
I just hope the community, there's this push for us all to be individuals and all separated, and I just want to bring everybody together in community and just realize that the person next to you is just the same as you.
The same as you. Those words are the heart of Food Not Bombs. This grassroots mutual aid network is bringing people together over shared meals in Joplin, operating without formal nonprofit status or organizational hierarchy. It's a group of people coming together to help.
Basically, we just form little groups of volunteers and we serve meals. So there's no religious affiliations, no political affiliations. It's just people who want to volunteer. They just come together.
Food Not Bombs serves a community meal out of the mini Hackney Community Center on Main Street. All the food is donated as well as the labor to cook the food.
Service brings me joy. Just to be serving others is where I find my joy. It sometimes seems really crazy to people. Why would you? I'm a social worker, so they're why do you want to do 8 hours of social work and turn around and do, more hours of service? But it's just where I draw my joy.
And if you're looking for a way to draw joy and share it, there's always ways you can help.
We have donation bins at Brush and Blade, Pink Mornings, and Rattle Designs on Schiffer-Decker. So people donate food, and we turn it around, cook it, and serve it.
The meals represent more than just food distribution. They create opportunities for connection regardless of social and economic lines. Reporting in Joplin, Ty Parks.
Food Not Bombs plans to increase their activities during the winter for those in need. Well, 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way. Lawmakers trade insults as government shutdown strike on to no end. And after 2 years of suffering, Gaza and Israel embrace ceasefire hope.
Big Bang Theory, tonight at 10:30, right here on Fox 14.
Get an 11% rebate.
$350 on this dual element range. Save more on Whirlpool appliances at Miller's Fine Furnishings in Parsons and Miami.
You're watching the 4 States Most Watched News.
The finger pointing is relentless on Capitol Hill after yet another vote to fund the government failed in the Senate today. Fox's Rebecca Castor has more on the shutdown and its growing impact.
Tempers are flaring amongst lawmakers with no sign that an agreement to reopen the government will be reached anytime soon.
I am so sick of them doing this. I'm so sick of Chuck Schumer and the lies.
We're pissed off that Republicans are being so irresponsible, that the House of Representatives isn't even here.
Democrats are withholding their votes, hoping to force Republicans to extend health insurance subsidies set to expire at the end of the year.
Each day, our case to fix health care and end the shutdown gets better and better, stronger and stronger.
This was never about health care for the Democrats. This has been about picking a fight with President Trump.
And President Trump is getting ready to fight back.
We'll be making cuts that will be permanent, and we're only going to cut Democrat programs, I hate to tell you.
Until a deal is reached, essential federal employees like air traffic controllers are working without pay. And the Transportation Secretary has a strong warning for those who are starting to call out sick, causing disruptions at airports across the U.S.
90% of the controllers, they show up, they come to work, but 10% of them are lashing out. And if we have some on our staff that aren't dedicated, like we need, we're going to let them go. Again, I can't have people not showing up for work.
U.S. service members also aren't being paid. Some lawmakers want to see a standalone bill to fund their paychecks, but those talks have gone nowhere. In Washington, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
The Labor Department says restricting new migrants and deporting current ones has led to a labor shortage. It goes on to say the shortage has increased the risk of, quote, supply shock-induced food shortages. The Secretary of Agriculture previously suggested that 34 million Americans on Medicaid could fill many of the jobs left vacant by immigrants. The Labor Department disagrees, saying it doesn't think unemployed or underemployed Americans want the jobs. The agency's comments were part of the document discussing an interim rule that lowers the wages of temporary agricultural workers here in the U.S. under the H-2A visa program. The first phase for a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas is here. The hope for peace after a 2-year-long war has sparked celebrations, but sticking points between the two sides. Michael Yoshida reports.
Celebration on the streets of Israel and Gaza.
Today, after 2 years of suffering, hunger, and humiliation, we feel reborn.
A cautious optimism following a historic announcement. Israel and Hamas agreed to the first phase of a U.S.-brokered ceasefire plan.
So we welcome it as a first step, and we realize that we need not to relax.
The deal will allow for the release of all hostages held by Hamas in Gaza, a partial withdrawal of Israeli troops, and the release of some Palestinian prisoners from Israel.
The first withdrawal or redeployment will happen immediately in order to make the first phase happen. With regard to other parts, they are conditional. There are parts that Hamas must do.
Hamas and its allies still hold 48 hostages in Gaza, all but one held since the deadly October 7th attack that instigated the war. The Israeli government believes at least 20 of the remaining hostages are alive. U.S. President Donald Trump said the hostages are likely to be released early next week.
It's been 2 years now, and we are hoping that this is actually going to be the last step.
During a cabinet meeting Thursday, President Trump looked to Gaza's future.
Gaza is going to be slowly redone.
Still, work remains to be done to reach long-term peace. Sticking points include Gaza's post-war governance and Israel's demands for Hamas's disarmament. In Washington, I'm Michael Yoshida.
Well, Lindsay's next with a complete look at the forecast. Swift breaks streaming records. Kevin James teams up for an action comedy, while Kim Kardashian tackles legal drama.
Hi, I'm Scott with Windows for Less.
Of downtown Joplin sits atop the Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex, home of Connect to Culture and Spiva Center for the Arts.
Well, unfortunately, we're on to slightly warmer weather as we head into the weekend. Now, taking a look at downtown Joplin from the Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex, we have a pretty quiet night for us tonight, but we do get to see some rain chances. Now, temperatures have been pretty cool the last couple of days. 76 on Wednesday, 79 today with our low about 58 this morning. We are just consistently seeing a couple of degrees warmer. 76 again on Wednesday, overnight low down to 58. Today we got up to about 79. Tonight we'll get down to 59 with our high tomorrow hitting low 80s, about 81, 82. But we also see a couple chances for some isolated showers or maybe a thunderstorm or two. It is going to be a quiet night until we get to the morning. But another thing outside of the warmer temperatures is we have, those rain chances. We have those warmer temperatures. We've got this high pressure system that's going to be bringing just a consistent warm up through the weekend. Low 80s on Friday, mid 80s to upper 80s by Sunday. All right, now taking a look at our future track for the rain chances, we do have a slight front. We could bring some isolated storms into the area. Mostly going to stay on the, you can see on the Missouri side though. Southeastern Kansas through the early morning hours could get a couple of isolated showers there. But by noon, looks like an isolated thunderstorm moving along I-49 hitting Webb City area, Carl Junction, maybe even getting into the Joplin side. Most of the rain is on the Springfield side though. As we push past the early afternoon, we get back to just some partly cloudy skies for the day on Friday, maybe another isolated shower or two, very brief. Heading into Saturday morning, we get hit with some cloudy skies, all clearing out by early afternoon. Now, our next chance for rain won't be until Monday. As you can see, we get these just light chances early in the morning. maybe some more widespread rain chances there in the afternoon. That's coming from a shortwave trough that's far up in Canada, but that does bring a little chance to cool down there Monday afternoon and even into Tuesday, back into the upper 70s. Not seeing a significant cool down for quite some time. All right, now heading into Tuesday, Kansas seems to be getting quite a bit of rain, but in our area we are staying mostly dry through Tuesday. We want to watch out for that though. Most of the rain goes to the north. We have a cutoff low from our jet stream. Now, this is a pretty messy upper level system. We get a lot of cutoff lows during this time because our jet stream is trying to lift further north, and that happens when we get into the winter time. So we're really fighting the seasons over here. Once that low pressure system reconnects with the upper level flow, by next weekend, we're going to finally get to see some cooler temperatures. Now, our average first frost is always, on average, again, late October. So we are seeing that still, that forecast pretty consistent for late October this year as well. Most likely around the 20th to the 24th. We're going to watch out for that window for some cooler temperatures. Now, until then, we're back into the 80s for the weekend. Again, getting to the upper 80s by Sunday. Monday, rain chances bring some more mild temperatures, and then, back to the 80s again.
Perfect. Sounds great, Lindsay. Thank you so much. Still ahead, Pitt State Cross Country returns to action this week as they prepare for the MIAA Championship in a couple of weeks. We'll hear from the team coming up. Plus, Pitt State and Missouri Southern return to the gridiron on Saturday. Sports Director Ryan Blake will preview their matchups ahead.
KOAM Plus, always on, now at 3 on KOAM TV.
Loud Party. Join us at 7 a.m.
It's week 7 of college football here in the 4 states area, and Missouri Southern football eyes their first MIAA win as the Lions travel to Emporia for a matchup against the Hornets. It's been a frustrating year for MSSU. 2 of their MIAA losses were within 1 score. The Lions feel like they're a couple of plays away from being 4-1. And one of those biggest problems for the team this season has been turnovers, and head coach Atiba Bradley made limiting turnovers a point of emphasis for his team.
The encouraging part is we're that freaking close. The frustrating part is we're that freaking close with another loss. We constantly talk about ball security and making sure you're protecting the football. I think sometimes as a runner, your competitiveness gets a little bit of the best of you, especially at the quarterback position, because some of the greatest plays or some of the great plays Tillman has made this year is by extending and getting out of the pocket and surveying what's going on. Well, that's also where he's had a couple of his turnovers.
The Lions and Hornets battle on Saturday, kickoff at 1 p.m. from Welch Stadium. Pitt State football is on fire, riding a 4-game winning streak after dropping their first 2 matchups of the season. And for this week's homecoming game, the Gorillas have a date with Washburn. And this Ichabod's team could present a unique challenge for Pitt State. While the Gorillas are coming off a win over Nebraska Kearney last week, Washburn had their bye week. And with an offense that possesses a lot of different looks and weapons, Pitt State could see some new things that film doesn't show.
They motion a lot, so a lot of eye candy. They got some good receivers, 2 great running backs also. So they just do a lot of variations of running the ball, motion, concept-wise, got low, high levels and stuff, all that. So they do a lot of things with their offense.
You always have some worries when you're going to play a team that's coming off of a bye week. That's extra days for them to prepare for you, extra time for them to potentially do some stuff or put some stuff in maybe that you haven't seen on film, extra time for them to get guys back healthy, maybe that have been a little banged up. So obviously they're a really good team, very talented. They play extremely hard. They do a lot of really good things in all 3 phases, and their record probably doesn't indicate where they feel they should be, and probably their record doesn't indicate where I probably think they should be when you turn on the film and watch them.
The Gorillas and Ichabods clash on Saturday in the jungle at Kearney Smith Stadium. Kickoff set for 2 p.m. Pitt State football isn't the only squad in action this weekend, as the Gorillas men's and women's cross-country teams will be back in action with competition of their own on Saturday. Pitt State hits the road for Romeoville, Illinois for the Lewis University Crossover Invitational. Saturday's event will be only the 2nd time that the Gorillas squads have raced this season, while being their final tune-up prior to the MIAA Championships later this month here in Pittsburgh.
We really only have 2 races, Missouri Southern and then Lewis, to really get things figured out and get some momentum built before we go into championship season. So we just need to make sure we take advantage of every opportunity we get to race and making sure we're taking advantage of those weeks in between to train hard and build fitness.
These meets are really exciting, being able to get that regional and national competition level, and it's also really good for just some of the girls on the team that don't have as much experience, and we can get in a larger field of runners and run with just more people in general and just get that extra experience. And yeah, it's going to be really fun. Fast one for sure.
Saturday's Invitational will start with the women's race at 9:45 a.m., followed by the men's event at 10:30. There'll be 37 teams competing, including 9 nationally ranked squads. That's it for sports. We're back with more after the break.
Taylor Swift's new record-setting achievement, a new action-packed comedy, and Ryan Murphy's star-filled legal drama. It's all in today's Hollywood Nation. Here's Fox's Ashley Dvorkin.
You're the best divorce lawyers in town.
The leading ladies of Murphy's legal drama, the funny guys of Prime Video's Playdate, and Taylor's show goes on to set records in the Hollywood Nation. Only 5 days since its release, Taylor Swift's The Life of a Showgirl set the record for the biggest opening week for an album in the streaming era. According to Billboard, the collection sold 3.2 million copies, with an extra 300,000 units from streaming. Adele's 2015 album 25 previously held the record.
This is awesome, right? Give me a hug! No hug.
In today's First Looks, Kevin James and Alan Richson team up for an action-packed playdate. The comedy follows suburban dads whose day with their sons turns into a chaotic adventure with mercenaries pursuing them. The film streams on Prime Video November 12th.
I need you to tell us the whole story.
Hulu revealed the trailer for Ryan Murphy's All's Fair. The legal drama unfolds as a team of female divorce attorneys open their own practice, navigating high-stakes breakups, scandals, and shifting allegiances. The cast includes Kim Kardashian, Naomi Watts, Niecy Nash-Betts, and Sarah Paulson. 3 episodes premiere November 4th, then roll out on Tuesdays.
You are not taking so much as a ballpoint pen out of this building.
In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
Coming up next, Missouri filmmakers showcase local talent in a new movie premiere. A filmmaker from Southwest Missouri looks to take a fresh bite out of an old horror genre. Springfield's own Ryan Smith brings his film Eldritch USA to the big screen this weekend in Joplin. While the movie, a combination zombie flick, dark comedy, and musical, has strong ties to the city of Springfield, it was a labor of love that wouldn't have been possible without friends and family in Joplin.
I grew up in El Dorado Springs, Missouri. I went to college here in Joplin. Then I joined the Army and was gone for a while and came back. I now live in Springfield. So I have a lot of family and friends that are both in Joplin and Springfield, and the majority of the talent for this film was actually pulled from both cities to do that. The director of photography, David Watson, actually lives here in Joplin. And so does our music writer, Mason Hurley.
Royale Cinema Lounge will have 2 screenings of the film Eldritch USA this weekend, Friday night at 7 and Saturday night at 8. That's our time for tonight. Thanks for joining us. We'll leave you with video of a group of polar bears that have taken over an abandoned polar research station in Russia. Have a great night and an even better tomorrow.